Mr. Nightwalk Nightmare Fuel. Story time. The Las Vegas Ghost Calls of 2010.
Yeah, so this started happening in 2010, and like police officers, as you can imagine, hear all sorts and see all sorts, and especially like call operators. Call operators obviously hear all sorts of stuff coming down the line, as you can imagine. Obviously, people screaming for help or this, that, or whatever. But if you was to look at like the creepiest calls ever to police and that, this is by far number one. This is baffling, and like when this came onto the internet, this like it kind of blew up, and a lot of people like wondering what all this is about. And obviously I'll tell you this case, I'll tell you the facts of it. This one's quite interesting, and you be the judge of what happened at the end. Obviously skeptics will come out with the logical reason of what the phone company said, but it's a bit weird, and obviously the operators, they don't buy it. Even to this day they don't buy it, and that's why it's such a quite a good one. This is quite creepy. So basically there's an old couple, and they've been with each other married since kids and grown up, and obviously, you know, life partners, man. Do you know what I mean? How you're meant to be, like penguins sort of thing, old school stuff. And they grew up, and they had a nice little house in just off Nevada, away from Vegas, not too far away from the city. But I think it's, yeah, I did write it down. Yeah, 20 miles away from Vegas, so it's, you know, it's only just down the road kind of thing. But they live in like the outbacks in this little house bit. They've lived there their whole life. And unfortunately, when they get a bit older, the partner dies, John dies, the husband dies, and she's left alone in this house, and she's an old lady now, and unfortunately signs of dementia are starting to kick in. So she's phoning up the police, but she'll phone up the police and be like, oh, can you help do the thermostat please, or can you put the tea on, or can you boil the thing? And they'll be like, this is the police, ma'am, is there like an emergency or something? She's like, hey? And they'll be like, you know, this is the police. And after a bit, she'll kind of realise what she's done, and then apologise, and oh, I'm so sorry, and they'll be like, that's okay, ma'am, don't worry about it, and they'll put the phone down. And this continued, and it didn't really matter how many times they told her, bless her, she just kept ringing. And then after a bit it changed, and then she'd phone up and she'd be like, oh, John, when are you going to be home, love? And then it's quite horrible, she was talking like that's her dead husband. And then they'd be like, ma'am, this is the police, you can't phone here, you know, this is for emergencies and stuff, like you should be calling a family member or something. And she'd be like, hey? And then once she realised it, she'd be like, oh my God, my partner's actually passed away, I'm so sorry, love. And then they'll realise, and then she'll apologise, and they're like, oh, that's right, and then, you know, they'd send her on her way kind of thing. But because there was no like signs of like any sort of emergency, they never sent police, there was no need to. It was just obviously an old confused lady, bless her, and unfortunately she's talking to him like, yeah, like it's a dead husband. That's what she's kind of thinking it is, and then they tell her it's the police kind of thing. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then, you know, kind of. And this continued for months, man. This was going on for ages, and like it even got to the point where they had her own protocol, literally. Like, so when the number came up in the call operator bit there, like it would literally like ping to one of them, and they had like a special little script to even say what to say. Do you know what I mean? Like to like. Let her have like a little ramble, it sounds mean what they did, and then just reassure her nicely, this is the police, you know, and you should be calling a different, you know, thing and stuff like that. And then it always ended up being like quite nice by the end of it, and she'd apologise and put the phone down. And this continued happening. But again, the police never sent anybody because there's no need to. Do you know what I mean? There's no threat of danger going on. Again, it's just obviously an elderly woman who's quite confused. Bless her. But yeah, she'd just be phoning, oh, John, can you put the kettle on? John, can you do this? John, can you do that? And then one day they're sitting there and they get a phone call. This is late in 2010 now. So this has been going on for quite a few months, and they get a phone call, and like her mannerism is completely different and changed. When they open up, you know, 911, you know, whatever. She's like, John, come home quick, I need you, John, please get home, John. And she's all like panicking and out of state, and they're like, ma'am, just stay on the phone. And she's like freaking out on that and saying, John, get home quick, I need you, John. And then the phone goes dead, and they're like, right, obviously we have to send the police. Obviously this time it's different. So they send this police around, and it's literally, they've got a squad car 3 minutes round the corner. So they pull up to this house, all the lights are off, they go towards the door, they knock on the door, there's no answer, they knock on the window, shine flashlights, don't really see anything, go to the door, open it, the door's actually open, they go inside, and straight away they turn around and said it was cold, man, it was proper cold inside that house. There's been no heating on for a while, they can tell that, and it was really cold. They look around the house, there's no one inside the ground floor, they then go upstairs to check all the rooms, there's no one in there, and in the very far corner they've got the master bedroom. They go inside there, they open up the door, and this is where they find that old lady. She's lying on the bed, but she's deceased. She's already dead. And they're like, what the fuck? Well, ain't no obviously phone, so they call up dispatch and say, yeah, you know, you said that lady just phoned saying whatever else. I doubt it, she's dead on the bed. And they're like, no, we just spoke to her, trust me, we've been talking to her for months, man, that's that woman. And they're like, well, so the police officer goes over and texts her sort of thing, and she's already got rigor mortis. Now, rigor mortis, if you die, you're all loosey-goosey for a bit, but after a certain amount of time, after a number of hours and that, your body will actually seize up and go hard. Or even after days, like sometimes, and it'll go all hard and it'll be all stiff, called rigor mortis, and that's already kicked in. So in that theory, then she's been dead for hours, at least dead for hours. She couldn't have made that phone call. And they're like, no, like we just spoke. Trust me, man. This is my job. Like I speak to her like 4 or 5 times a week. We all do. It's going on for months, mate. That was her on the phone, and she was like asking for help. She was scared. So the police are all tripped out by it and think, well, how'd she? Right, well, the house was really cold, so that's what one of the detectives turned around and said. But the house was really cold. I don't think it was rigor mortis. She was stiff because it was so cold. Maybe that's what it was, and that's what they put it down to. But in the back of everybody's mind, sort of thing, they're thinking, oh, obviously not. That's well weird. 2 days pass, and the phone rings again, and one of the operators is sat around, and it's that number that comes up, and she's like, no way. And she's like looking at that phone number ringing, and she's thinking, look, it's got to be someone else. Like someone's obviously ringing from the house, but maybe it's a family member or something like that. Answered it, and it's the same woman. John, come home quick. John, I need you, please. John, come home. Like, and then the phone will end up getting dead. So they send the police and go around again. There's nobody in the house. They're like, it's clear, no one's in the house. And they're like, would someone just that woman phone? Like the same woman phone, she's dead. And they're like, that don't make sense. And this literally, man, 4 or 5 times a week continued happening of this woman phoning up saying, John, come home quick, I need you. John, please help me, John, something or whatever else. Like, where are you? And he'll come, like, and they'll always have to send the police, because obviously that's protocol. Like, because she's in an emergency state, you have to send police. But every single time they go there, there's no one there. There is no woman. She's dead. She's already died, man. Do you know what I mean? They've already buried her. And the people who are taking all the calls and stuff, they're absolutely tripping balls. And now they're doing short straws. When the phone starts ringing, they're like, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? You can answer this call. So they're doing short straws, people are doing the phone. And the police officers who have been sent there by dispatch and saying, you've got to go check that house out to go see the ladies there, they were freaking out, man. Every time I'm going there and there's like nobody in the house, after a bit, the chick started getting whatever else. Kids broke inside this house and burnt it to the ground, and it was burnt to the ground, so now it was an empty lot. They continued still getting phone calls off this lady saying, John, help me, John, please, come back home, John, I need you, and all this kind of stuff. And again, they're like, what the fuck? And they'd have to spend dispatch. The police would go down there again, and literally they'd be like, going down there, like, it's a burnt out lot, there is nothing there. And they're like, what? So obviously they're doing short straws, they don't want to be going there, obviously freaking out, as you can imagine, like. And this continued for a year. Shit you not, for a year, man. The police had no idea what was going on, so the police ended up contacting their phone company and said, we're getting phone calls off a woman that's basically dead in a house that's non-existent. How's that possible? And they say, right, he's like, is this phone still connected? Maybe pranks are going on or something like that. And the phone company looks at it and says, no, that was the phone was disconnected a day after her passing. We can send an operator down and see if somehow they missed like a few wires and whatever else, but it's fine, like, that's been completely deactivated, and furthermore there's no lock there, so there's no reason for us to put it there any further. But we'll send an operator anyways, go down there, come back. Nope, no issues, everything is disconnected, there is no reason for anything to be ringing from that thing. Technically that number doesn't really exist anymore. The phone company has no idea how this is happening. The police were like, well, how is this happening? So the phone company then turned around and said, what we think's happened, somehow there's like a digital recording of this old lady, and for some reason it's just got a digital recording of her, and it's bouncing back and it keeps bouncing over and ringing the police. So then the detective's like, yeah, that makes sense, and that's what they try saying to the other police. And then all the people though who are sit around and they take those calls and they're like, no, it is not a recording, trust me. I was speaking to this woman for months before she died. Now still 4 or 5 times a week she phones up screaming, asking for her husband John. But I'm telling you, it's not a recording, it's different every time. Like it's different, it's the same message, like she wants help and she wants her husband to get home, but it's always different. I'm telling you now, it's not a recording. And they had no idea what to make of it. And then just as like weirdly as it started, it just after a year it just abruptly stopped. And that was it, and they had no idea what it was. And furthermore, like, the police obviously have a lot to deal with anyways, and like and resources and whatnot, so because the calls all stopped and they don't know what it is. So even to this day, it's just gone down as fuck knows. They generally have no idea how it happened or what happened.